Okay, gamers. It's time for another tier list, and this is by far the most objective, factual, and totally not meme tier list ever. We're doing the fun tier list, okay? How much fun is every elite spec, maybe even the core specs as well? How much fun is it to play? Let's find out. And actually, you know what? A little bit of a foreword here about the author. Bear in mind, gamers, I like hybrid builds. I like more support-oriented builds. I don't like the more glass candy selfish builds. So that bias will be informing some of these decisions here. So be aware of that. That doesn't make it useless, by the way. If you are more of a support player, then quite a lot of the choices that I'm going to rate highly, yeah, you might want to check those out. And, hey, some of the stuff that I don't like, if you're a super greedy DPS player, you might like a lot of the specs that I rate very, very low, right? So, hey, look, you can get some value out of it no matter what. But anyway, let's get into it. And, honestly, I don't even know where I want to get in. I think we're going to get the really obvious ones out of the way. In my opinion, maybe the most fun spec to play in the entire game, and actually this kind of bucks the trend of the whole support thing, or more support-oriented thing, actually, is Reaper. Reaper, I think, has been consistently fun to play since day one that it's been added to the game. If that's been a Condi Reaper, if that's been a Power Reaper, I think it's fun in PvP. I think it's always fun in World versus World as well. Reaper is, to be honest, the pinnacle of design, I feel like, for elite specializations. It is so much fun to play. It really, really is. It is fantastic. It's the perfect role play, the perfect build. S tier. It's going in there right now. There it is. Job done. And you know what? Let's throw something in the trash coming up next. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. This feels so bad. It feels bad to do this, but I've got to put Untamed in D tier. The Fervent Force... Untamed has always been this spec that I think ArenaNet has had trouble with the design. It came out with this really crazy design of Fervent Force, resetting all your cooldowns instantly. That's gone now, so the spec is balanced, quote-unquote, now. Or, I guess, slightly better designed. But, man, that build was really fun to play. I really enjoyed that build. It was really cool, actually. It worked in a whole bunch of different places. It was really, really fun. And now, sadly, it's a lot less fun. It still has a little bit of things going for it in PvP, I guess, in World versus World, but it's a shadow of its former self in PvE, and that's kind of where we're going with this tier list, I would say, most of the time. Like, it's gonna be that. So yeah, D tier for Untamed. Unlucky. Now, let's see, what else are we doing here? Honestly, let's get Elementalist done here as well. We did the best spec in the game. Now we're going to do the worst spec in the game. And that's Catalyst. I think Catalyst actually is the least fun elite spec in the game. Seriously. And it's not even bad. It's not that it's bad, by the way. It's actually good. It's good in PvP. It's good in PvE. It has applications in World versus World. It's not bad, right? But it's Core Ellie with an extra button, right? And that's never a good sign. Like, when the only fun thing about your spec is that you have cool orbs, that's not good. I don't think Catalyst plays well. I don't think it's fun to play. I don't think it's enjoyable in any way. No. In fact, these two are probably worse than most core specs. Boom! There it is. I'm bringing the hammer down here, right? We are bringing the hammer. But there it is. Oh, where would Fervent Force be? I would say Fervent Force Untamed would actually be S tier. That build was crazy fun to play, actually. I guess just for a bit of reference. So, old Untamed was S. New Untamed is D tier. Nothing but trash. Okay. Next, let's kind of mix it up a little bit. Tempest. Oh, Tempest. I really like the new condition damage alacrity build for Tempest. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that you have to use basically all of your utilities for damage a lot of the time, and those skills aren't that much fun to use, in my opinion. So I think I can't give this S tier. Like, original Tempest, like, back in HOT, was 100% S tier. I think now this is an A tier build. An A tier build. The heal build, I actually find not... Heal Tempest is fun to play, but my issue with it is that there's often quite a lot of downtime in the playstyle. Like, you're kind of sitting there, not really doing that much for a long time when you're playing Heal Tempest. But the more aggressive Tempest builds are often actually really enjoyable. And it is a very cool hybrid build. It really leans into that elementalist style of having a little bit of everything in your build. It can heal a little bit. It can give some boons, even when it's doing DPS. So yeah, solid A tier for Tempest. I think this is probably my favorite Elementalist spec overall, historically, because of its slightly more hybrid nature. And I think it has a really cool theme as well. Some of the shouts are pretty fun to use. The overloads are really fun. They're really impactful. And that goes into other game modes too. This is a spec that's like consistently rock solid and fun to play in all 3 game modes, in my opinion. So a good rating there for Tempest. I definitely recommend checking this out. This is always the elite spec. I tell players, oh, I'm playing Ellie. What elite spec should I get first? Tempest. Every single time. I love Tempest. But I do think there are a few things about it now that are not quite as good as it used to be. Let's get it out of the way. Scourge. Actually, let's get real here. Would I even give Scourge S tier anymore? I'm not sure if I would, actually. It's less fun than it used to be. Because it's less hybrid now. It's a bit more aggressive than it used to. It does more damage and has less barrier. I think Scourge is A tier. I still do really enjoy playing this spec. Actually, the new heal Alacrity build is a lot of fun, actually. It's really strong, too. This is a cool build. Yeah, in PvE. We don't talk about it in PvP and World vs. World. It's always degenerate there and honestly not that much fun. But in PvE, Scourge, it's fun. It's fun. The DPS build is really fun. The Alacrity build is really fun. The heal build is really fun. I wouldn't put it in S tier, though. It's not going into S tier. Not anymore. It's on par with Tempest. Let's do Mech. You know, Mech is actually really hard for me to rate here. Because I actually think heal Mech is really fun to play. However, DPS Mech is not that much fun to play, to be honest. So it's really hard for me to rate this. I would say that DPS Mech, to be frank, actually is C tier. I do not like DPS Mech. It's not very... I don't like it whatsoever, to be honest. It's not a very enjoyable specialization. However, Heal Mechanist is a really fun heal build, I think. It's very reactive, it's very dynamic, and it's very rewarding on skill. You know, Heal Mech actually has a bad reputation because of DPS Mech being easy to play, but Heal Mech is actually surprisingly challenging. I often find that inexperienced players playing Heal Mech actually perform extremely poorly on the build. It has a very low skill floor, like anyone can be effective on it, but to actually play the build well, I think actually requires, you know, a decent chunk of skill, actually. So I think what we'll do here is I'll give it B tier because the mech AI is a pain in the ass. And that will downgrade it from those. Boom. There we go. Let's try something different. Here we go. Let's meander around a little bit. People get mad at me when I don't do the tier list in order. And look, I'll admit this. I admit to all of you. Part of doing this tier list is to get people mad. Like, how dare you say my spec isn't fun? You know what? I love that. I love it. You know, it's content, right? You know, look, I need something to get me through the day, all right? So I've got to make tier lists that piss people off. So let's do Firebrand. I actually really enjoy the current iteration of Firebrand. That, I know, is controversial, actually. That is controversial. It is. I admit that. But I think it's A tier. Actually, I love how flexible you are. I know it's kind of busted with how you can go into the tomes anytime you like. I think that's really fun. It's really refreshing and really fun to play with, actually. It's super reactive. You do have to channel the mantras, and I think that's actually what prevents us from going into an S-tier spec, is the fact that the mantra channel, yeah, it's a bit annoying. It's not the end of the universe, to be honest, once you get used to it, but yeah, it's a bit annoying, to be honest. So it's A-tier, very versatile, very powerful. I think, again, really rewarding on managing your resources well and understanding how and when to use your skills. Very dynamic. Specialization to play. It's going into A tier. Scrapper. Oh, Scrapper's C tier. I'm sorry, it is. I think the new quickness application for this build, it needs some work. It really does. I do not think Scrapper is that good right now. You know, it's powerful. It's not a bad build by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. I don't like your animation lock now. I don't like the way the build actually plays out with like the rocket charge and stuff like that. It's a bit gimmicky, to be honest. I do like that your utility skills are freed up a little bit. I think there's some potential. I think once they adjust the quickness application for this build, it will go up a lot, actually. It will go, because I think, again, Scrapper is one of those builds that's historically been a lot of fun to play. It's historically been really enjoyable, but it's mediocre at best, and I mean mediocre at best currently. Right, next. Virtuoso. I think this is B tier. It's mid. It's mid. It's mid. I don't think it's bad. You know, I don't feel offended. When I play Virtuoso, I go, you know what? This is gaming. I'm pressing my buttons. You know, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Doesn't excite me, though, to be honest. I find it a little bland. Compared to what other elite, you know, there's a lot of fun specs in this game. You know, you've got to be a bit harsher. You've got to condemn some of these to B tier. As simple as that, it really is. I think the power build is actually a little bit more fun than the Connie build because you have that combo-oriented element there. It's like a very combo-based spec with lining up all your bursts and so on. So the power build is actually quite a lot of fun to play and execute super well. But the condition mode is super boring, to be honest. Like you just like spam, right? It's like, oh yeah, numbers are appearing. Very strong, obviously, but not overly exciting. Let's double up. Let's get some other Mesmer builds in here. Chrono. Chrono is on its redemption arc in terms of both fun and effectiveness. I think it's more fun than Virtuoso, weirdly enough. It might actually have to go in A tier. Purely because of that. It is more fun than Vert, I think. Continuous split is fun. You've got to fit all your skills in. I think it's very flexible these days. You can bring a lot to the table. The shatter skills are really cool, especially the double hit. It's very satisfying when you get like a massive double hit kind of popping off there as well. Chrono actually does go into A tier, I think. It does get into the mix, I think. It's pretty fun. I'm not sure about the DPS build, but the support builds are actually pretty cool. And you can do a lot. You can bring a lot of value, actually. Yeah, and actually, this is very relevant. This is a great point by the chat. The sound effects are really good, actually, on Chrono. That is highly relevant. That's true on Scourge, too, by the way. You know, like the Specter sound effects, like the auto attack, the sound effect is great. It's the same on Reaper, actually. There's some really good sound. It's a bit of a trend there, actually. A lot of the really good specs. That's a great point to think about. What you'll note about a lot of these, they have really good sound effects in like S and A tier. Yes, very good. But yeah, Chrono has really been on its redemption arc. I think we're going to start to see a lot more people playing Chrono. I think it's always been a bit of a favorite, I think, for Guild Wars 2 players. So I think Chronomancer actually is a really fun pick. I think its toolkit is really fun to use. And the rotation now and the way it plays out is also pretty cool, right? You get a lot of good stuff going on there, and your weapon choices are quite flexible, and that really enables you to certainly approach this build in the way that you want to. Holosmith. Holosmith might have to go in S tier. This is just another one, I think very much like Reaper, that has just always been consistently fun to play. The Hollow Forge mechanic and heat is just good. It's just good, isn't it? It's just fun. It really is. It's just always enjoyable to use. And I think the way the traits work, a lot of these different builds actually play out really differently. This is a really cool thing about Holo, actually, is that, you know, power is not the same as Condi, right? Some builds, especially the more modern builds, a lot of the builds kind of play out the same. You change the traits, but it's like, oh, well, you know, it's kind of the same, really, you know. But Holo is really nice in the fact that the playstyle varies significantly on what you're doing. And there's a lot of adaptation. Like, there's a lot of planning and managing your resources. Think, I want to be high heat here because it gives me more damage. Then I want to get a big burst. Or right, I want to set up my combos. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And this is going to be a big thing about kits as well. In general, weapon kits, they're a bit of an acquired taste. I'm a kit enjoyer. I really like playing with kits. I know some people hate them. They absolutely, like, despise playing with kits. But personally, I really enjoy them. This goes into S tier. Holo, always fun. It's one of the most universally fun builds to play historically in the game, I think. Just flat out. It's always been fun. Druid. You know, Druid is really strong. But I'm not sure if Druid's that much fun to play. Even now. To be perfectly honest with you. I'm not sure if it's that much fun. The Condi Druid build looks fun, actually. That's one I need to try that. I haven't played the Condi Druid build. I've only played the Heal Druid build. Alright, I don't think I can put it in B tier. It's better than this. It might have to go in A tier. But I wouldn't put it in S tier. It's alright. It's alright. You do get massive numbers. Like, it is really fun to just go in CA and just, like, blast. But I do like the ranged healing as well. You have this, like, full ranged setup where you can just save people and, like, cast your little seeds on them and flowers on them. It's very cool, actually. So, yeah, you know what? A tier. A tier. Not the most fun build in the universe, and maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on it, but Druid, definitely not bad. It goes into the A tier. That is where it belongs. Get in there. I'm going to get the Thief stuff out of the way here. I don't like Thief. I'm going to... Disclosure. I've never been a Thief player. I'm not a Rogue player. I don't play Rogues in MMOs. I don't do it. A lot of these specs have, like, animation locks. Deadeye, you just, like, stab things with your dagger. I'm sorry, this is C tier at best. It's nothing but C tier. Yeah. Not good. Specter, though. Now, Specter is fun to play. A tier. I actually like this build a lot. This is actually a really cool build. I've played the heal build and the condition alacrity build, and honestly, I kind of like it. I like that it's very hybridy. You're applying barrier while doing damage. You're supporting your allies. It's very rewarding on managing your tether and using that effectively. A lot of boon access here as well at the same time. A lot of value. It's a very high value build, and I like builds that are high value. It really delivers a lot of value there, in my opinion. Specter is good. It goes into A tier. What are we doing next? Soulbeast. You know, this build is mediocre. We were kind of chatting about this before we got into the tiers. I was chatting with the stream about this. It's alright. I wouldn't say it's not fun, but I honestly wouldn't say it's that much fun either. You know, it's... I almost feel like it's been fun-crept. It's like power crept, but with fun. I feel like it's fallen behind in the fun-ometers. Like, a while ago, I just said, yeah, you know, Power Soulbeast, fun build. Now, not fun build. To be honest. Well, I mean, no, actually, that's harsh. It is fun, but it's not that fun. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I'm playing Soulbeast, guys. Yeah, it's not bad. You know, I'm having a good time here. But it's in B tier. It's having a good time in B tier. That's where it belongs. Harbinger, last Necro spec. This is actually a weird one. I felt the rotation for Harbinger is really fluid and really fun to execute. But to be honest, I feel like a lot of the attacks, it feels... it's not meaty to me. I don't feel the meat on Harbinger. I think, there's two things going on here. The rotation is good, but I don't really like... I don't like pistol very much at all. I don't feel the weight. I don't feel the smash, the smush. So I think this has to actually go in B tier. I'm not a huge enjoyer of Harbinger. I'm not. I admit it. I'm not. I don't like it that much. The rotation is fun, but it does feel very floaty. Like, if you are into a really fluid rotation, then I think you'll enjoy Harbinger. But to be honest, I like the high-impact stuff, right? I want to see some big sparks flying, and Harbinger, to be honest, doesn't really deliver that for me. Yeah, and, you know, I think the World versus World roaming example is a great example of this, actually. I play Harbinger and World versus World. You can literally 1v4 people on Celestial Harbinger, and that should be fun. But to be honest, I don't think it is. You go, oh, well, you know, oh, look, they're all dying. Oh, wow, you know, I put my elixir on them. Oh, I auto-attack them. I used my 2 skill, and they died. Wow, I'm having fun. That's the experience, seriously. That's what it's like. That's, you can, on any, you go, I'm 1v4, boys, let's go. I'm posting this to YouTube. But on Harbinger, you're like, oh, you know, I guess 1v4. And that's not good. Right? How can that be high energy if that's your reaction to 1v4ing in World versus World? You know, it's mediocre at best. Right, Renegade. A tier. Specifically, any Condi Renegade build goes in A tier immediately. Power Renegade used to be a lot of fun. Now it's kind of a noodle, so it's less fun. But in terms of actual gameplay, Power Ren actually is pretty fun to play. Condi Renegade, however, is a very consistently fun build. It's always had quite an intricate and elegant rotation, very rewarding if you play it well. Definitely a lot of skill expression involved there, and also has a lot of value. Like, the Kala Legend for Rev is a really nifty bit of support alongside your damage output, and really brings a lot of value to the team. Very high value build, and I think very consistently fun to play, actually. Good rotation, does a lot, good build. And you get cool weapons. You get Mace, Axe, and Shortbow, and that's actually a really neat combo. Some good legendaries there, and that makes it fun. We haven't touched Warrior yet, so we've got to do some Warrior. And this is actually going to be, this might be controversial. This might be, let's get them done. Let's get this done. Bladesworn is not fun. I do not like Bladesworn at all. I don't like that you're immobile a lot of the time. I don't really like charging up a skill and walloping people. Yeah, sure. It's fun to see like a 400k crit. Wow, very funny. You know, that's good game design, isn't it? But honestly, I don't enjoy it. It's going into C tier. Spellbreaker, actually very similar, going into B for me. It's just one of those builds that just doesn't excite me. You know, I don't know why. I almost can't put my finger on it. You know, it just feels almost like a little bit too generic, right? It's like, oh, you know, I'm a warrior. I hit things. There's not enough of the spell breaking going on. You know, it feels a little bit too much like core warrior, but you've got a little spin move and you can block things. I think the flavor of the class doesn't kind of spew out enough. You know, it's a very powerful build, of course, and anything that is powerful will be a little bit fun, but I don't think Spellbreaker really has what it takes. Even though it's a strong build, rotation's fun, in my opinion, it doesn't really deliver on the flavor for me in terms of like really making this enjoyable to play. Berserker. And yeah, on fights where full counter worked, it is really good. And Spellbreaker is a lot of fun in PvP because of full counter. But overall, not that good. I mean, maybe I should actually promote this because in PvP and World versus World, Spellbreaker is actually Omega tier. In PvE, it really falls down though, actually. I'm actually promoting it to A tier purely because it's a lot of fun in PvP and World versus World. And full counter is really fun in those game modes. Oh, maybe it's at the top of B tier. It's close. Berserker. Berserker actually might be the most fun warrior spec overall. But can it make it into A tier? Oh. Oh, no. Oh, I actually forgot something. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no. Guys, I'm so sorry about this. Arc Divider only hits once. Uninstall tier. Oh, yeah. That's... Brain completely went out the window there. I forgot about that. Uninstall tier... Arc Divider only hits once instead of 3 times. It's worthless. Seriously, if you play the spec, uninstall. Yeah. Yeah. Do not play. But in all seriousness, I think this probably goes... For me, it goes into B tier. It's pretty fun to play. I wouldn't say it's exceptional. I wouldn't say it's entirely exemplary. But it's probably going into B tier, I think. Yeah. Herald. You know, if I ask the audience here, I think 50% of people would put this in S tier. And 50% would put it in uninstall tier. And you know what? It's S tier. Yes. It is. It's S tier. Deny it all you want. Herald's actually really fun to play. Heal Herald, I think, is really cool right now. And also... Power Quickness Herald is actually fun. Cope all you want. The rework is actually pretty cool, I think. It's a very powerful build, very high value. You blast insane DPS constantly. You're unkillable. You have a lot of things that you can do to counter mechanics and survive mechanics, all that kind of stuff. It's good. Yeah, give yourself quickness. Give yourself every boon. S-tier build. And I think it's actually a fun rotation to play. Not the most complicated rotation in the universe, that's for sure. It's a relatively simple build to play, but, you know, it's a simple, humble build. Can still be fun, in my opinion. And as a bit of a bonus here, I would say, again, we're mostly talking about PvE in this tier list, but I will kind of mention it where it's relevant, or, you know, just to kind of get a bit of additional context. Herald, I think, is probably one of the most fun builds to play in PvP. It kind of sucks right now, but whenever Herald is good... PvP is happy. Power Herald might be the most fun build to play in PvP of all time. Seriously. That actually might be true. It actually might be true. It really might be true. Shame it sucks. Unlucky. Okay. Next. Mirage. Mirage actually is really fun to play. A tier. A tier. Very cool spec. Again, has been slightly besmirched by nerfs recently. But actually, it is highly enjoyable to play. The ambush mechanic is fun, even though it's a little bit busted sometimes. It's actually really fun to play. Almost all Mirage builds end up really enjoyable, whether it's going to be the Alacrity build or if it's going to be the just full DPS build. It's always very rewarding, has a lot of depth to it, can still be effective if you are, you know, an introductory player, beginner player. You can still do pretty well on Mirage, but to get the full potential out of it, there's definitely a lot of investment required into it. One of the trickier builds to actually play at full potential, I think. But always ends up really fun to play. The ability is just fun. Like, Axe is a fun weapon, not gonna lie. And, you know, controversially, I think Staff is a fun weapon as well. Yeah, I went there, guys. Staff Mirage is actually kind of fun to play. Especially because Mesmer utility is so strong right now. Mesmer, one of the reasons why you see a lot of these Mesmer specs pretty high, and this definitely even helps out Virtuoso, is that there's just so many ways that you can help your team, in my opinion. There's so many ways where your team is like, oh, wow, it feels good that, you know, there's a Mesmer on our team, and they're doing something. They're pressing their buttons. It's good stuff. Okay. Weaver. Oh, Weaver. You know, going into this, I would have said A tier. I really would have said A tier. But I'm not totally convinced if I would say A tier anymore. It's one of the themes that I find the most fun. I love the RP of Weaver, like combining the elements. It's one of the coolest themes, I think. It really is. It really, really is one of the coolest themes. I think we're still doing 8. Oh. God, it might even... It might have to make it into S tier. I think it's a little bit less... I want to say it's like a little bit less fun than it used to be, actually. Because it... Look, this is going to be a... let's get toxic. It has been dumbed down a bit. Because it was, you know, a pretty hard build to play a while ago. And they streamlined it, which kind of took away some of the intricacy. I think that actually did make it less fun, to be frank, than it used to be. Most notably, Power Weaver. Power Weaver used to be a pretty tricky build to pull off. Nowadays, it's very easy to perform effectively on that build. And I think that did take away some of the magic. Ooh, I'm not sure where to put it. It is one of those builds that I think can still be really fun to play. And just the entire theme of it, like blending the elements together with the dual attacks, it's just such a fun concept. It really is a really fun concept. It has some great design on all of its abilities. It really does. I'm actually going to put it in S tier for now. Yeah, it's actually going to go in S tier for now. But I might revise that. We might have to come back and think about it. We might have to think about that. Oh, I'm actually nearly done. Vindicator. I really dislike Vindicator. And you know what? I actually take feedback from the chat. I didn't go far enough tier. Yeah. New tier. I don't like Vindicator at all. It's, you know I said Catalyst is the worst spec in the game? That might be true, but that doesn't mean that it's my least favorite spec in the game. Vindicator, I don't like Vindicator at all. I think... I like the concept of the dual legend thing, but everything else about it, to me, is putrid. I don't like the stupid dodge mechanic. I think the legend thing is just a bit cumbersome, to be honest, and quite hard to manage. Greatsword is I don't know about Greatsword, to be honest. It's just, I don't know, I don't like it that much. I'm not an enjoyer. I'm not a Vindicator enjoyer. That's it. I don't like it. Willbender. You know, this spec is actually fun. Yeah, it is. I've mostly played it in PvP. I've played quite a lot of games of this in PvP. Solo queue PvP. And it's fun. It actually is fun. In PvE, I think it also is fun. It's very underrated in my opinion. The thing that makes it really fun, I think, about Willbender is that you have this cooldown reset. You're it's a little bit like Soulbeast, Untamed in a way, is that you're kind of recharging your weapon skills consistently during your rotation. So you end up like pressing like big buttons. You're like really pressing buttons all the time, which makes it really fun. And you use Greatsword. Right? Use Greatsword. And Guardian Greatsword is one of the most fun weapons in the entire game. It absolutely is. Like, any build that has Greatsword that's Guardian, honestly, can't be that unfun. It's not even possible for that to be the case. It's always fun, in my opinion. And it's actually a build that's really been rising in the rankings, actually. It's kind of got... It's one of those builds that stealth got a lot better, but people haven't noticed yet. So, you know, people will figure that out eventually. But yeah, it's actually fun. It's actually a fun build. to play, in my opinion. Consistently, again, and again, as a bit of a bonus, it's good in all game modes, in my opinion. It's fun in every single game mode. And finally, Dragonhunter. Dragonhunter... It's less fun than the other Guardian specs. It's probably B tier. I think it's a B tier situation with this. It is actually fun. It's actually one of the DPS specs that I played the most of, funnily enough, actually. I played a lot of this back in Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire in particular. I played this DH a lot. On NA as well, funnily enough. That's not super relevant, but I did. I used to do a full raid clear with a guy called Tweedy on the NA server every week. And I played Dragonhunter in that raid. Dragonhunter and Reaper, actually, is what I would play a lot of. You know, the funny story here, actually. You know, Tweedy was actually a Necromancer main, a Scourge main. And he once flamed me and said that he would destroy me in DPS. And then I actually played Blood Scourge, so basically a Heal Scourge hybrid in full exotic gear. And I dominated him in a 1v1 DPS race during Spirit Veil. He actually quit the game out of that, out of shame. You know, he was so humiliated, just so destroyed and mentally crushed that he uninstalled Guild Wars 2 and never dared show his face ever again. But yeah, that's actually a true story, by the way. And there it is. I win. I was the Scourge Lord, and I destroyed him. Ended his career. But anyway, that aside, Dragonhunter, it's a fun spec. I'd actually put it at the top of B tier. I think it's more fun than this stuff. You know, it's almost a crime to put it in B tier. It almost needs like a B+ tier all to itself, because I do really like the kit that Dragonhunter has. You can leap and heal people. You can block things. You play Greatsword, and they even fix the animation cancelling, so it's even more fun than before. It's just a lot of kind of high-value stuff you can do as well. You can kind of carry a team with your Guardian utility, with your block. The rotation is actually really fun. One thing that's notable, and I should have brought this up earlier, actually, this is what happens, okay, when you're a scuffed content creator like me. A lot of the rotations that are really fun and satisfying are the more combo-oriented ones. So stuff like Chronomancer, stuff like Dragonhunter is another, like, really combo-oriented one. Like Holosmith as well, combo-oriented. Weaver is heavily combo-oriented. Like, these specs are, like, really fun to pull them off effectively. And Dragonhunter is definitely in that category. You gotta line up all of your bursts, right? And you get, like, you see a zillion numbers. You know, your DPS skyrockets for a couple of seconds. It's actually a really enjoyable build to play, just in terms of, like, the way it actually plays out on the actual encounters. Overall, I almost feel like it's been fun crapped, because they added so much power creep to a lot of these specs here that they just have more buttons now, and that kind of makes them more fun to play almost inherently, because you're just like constantly tapping all of your skills all over the place. So DH has been fun crapped. Like a couple of expansions ago, I feel like DH would have been A or S tier, but now it is B tier. We are actually going to do core specs as well, because I think that's content. Core Necro. Core Necro is uninstalled here. It is not fun. Well, you know what? You know what? I'm not even sure if that's true. Because there are some core Necro builds you can play in open world that are actually kind of fun. I think I'm biased against core Necro because it's an absolute putrid abomination in PvP. Like, core Necro just existing in PvP made PvP less fun. It's not that good now, but when it was good, it was not fun to interact with in any way. It might actually get a little bit promoted. It's not horrible, actually, to be honest. There's actually some pretty cool builds. Like, we have some on the Hardstuck website where you can play core Necro while you're unlocking your elite spec. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun to play, actually. But yeah, it goes to D tier. I think, you know, I think I'd rather play core Necro than Untamed or Catalyst. In fact, I definitely would. Yeah. Yeah. Core Rev. It's like, why are you playing this? Why are you playing Core Rev, bro? Core Warrior? Honestly, the same. Core Ranger? Definitely. What are you doing? Core Thief? You know, Core Thief? Core Mesmer is uninstalled here, 100%. Core NG? probably actually ends up in C tier. It's probably like the best core spec to play. It's probably the... well, there's one more addition, actually. There's one more addition here, actually. Core Thief. Core Thief is uninstalled here. Also, if you play Condi Core Thief in PvP, you aren't a good person. There it is. I'm just stating facts. Core Guardian. It's D tier, and it's only not in uninstall tier because it's really good in PvP, and your enemies will hate you for playing it. Specifically, the support Core Guardian build. Really annoying to play against. Really good at winning games. Not that much fun to play, to be fair. But you do win with it. It's very good. Core Warrior gets promoted as well. It's actually not horrible. And finally, and there's a reason I didn't rate this. There's a good reason I didn't rate this, guys, because to be frank, the competition isn't really that fair. It's not fair to actually really even consider this build when it comes to fun, because actually, guys, here it is, Fire Wizard. Fire Wizard, Core Elementalist, far above everything else. We're going to fix this in post. Editor, get this in post. This utter worthless garbage. Every single one of these tiers, nothing but trash. Okay, Fire Wizard, by far the most fun build in the entire game, guys. Core Elementalist, play it in every single game mode. PvE, PvP, world versus world. It's nothing. Every other build is nothing compared to this. S+, S+, S++++. Fire Wizard dominates it all with its red color. There it is. Only play Staff Fire Wizard. Nothing else. And this is the best part. Do you know the best part about Core Elementalist, guys? Fire Wizard. But check this out. If you go into Earth, Dirt Wizard. Go into Water, Puddle Wizard. And you go into Air, Breeze Wizard. It's 4 builds in one. Yeah. And you can't beat that. You actually can't beat it. Yeah. Fire Wizard is so good. ArenaNet actually made an entire expansion based around Fire Wizards. Dirt Wizard, Puddle Wizard, Fire Wizard, Breath Wizard. In all seriousness, this actually probably goes into C tier. Like, you know, now we're done memeing. We're done having our hilarious jape. We can kind of clean these tiers up here. Here we go. Boom. Fire Wizard tier can stay there just for the memes. In all seriousness, this is actually probably the strongest core build, at least in PvE. It's actually surprisingly serviceable in PvP. Just a bit of a side note. It's actually, yeah, it's not a bad build. It really isn't a bad build at all. It plays very similarly to some of the like a Scepter Weaver, but you don't press nearly as many buttons, like the Scepter Condi Weaver. And also, like maybe if you're playing a Tempest with Scepter as well, it plays out very similar to that. In fact, you literally camp fire. You're literally a Fire Wizard if you play that build. It's not horrible, to be fair. It's surprisingly good. It's a lot better than you might think, actually. Which, you know, it's something, but certainly a very basic build, not the most fun build in the universe to play, but, you know, it works. It definitely works. You can get some value out of it. So it probably goes in C tier. Not exciting, but very serviceable. And if you were looking for kind of, you know, an actual Fire Wizard, then honestly, Core Ellie is what you're looking for. There you go. That's it. And now that we're done with this tier list, you know, and actually, I want to encourage everyone to do the same here. I'm super curious what everyone thinks. If you're watching this right now, make the tier list and send me a screenshot on Twitter. X.com. Oh my god. No, I'm not calling it that. I'm calling it Twitter. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, tweet it to me or send it to me on Discord or something. Join my Discord and send me a ping. And me and my community, we will review your tier list. I'll put a link to the tier list so you can make your own here. And I'm really curious what everyone actually has to say. And in fact, we're actually going to do a few now before we wrap up the video here. Once again, I tricked my Twitch audience into being a YouTube video. We're actually going to have a look at a couple from the Twitch chat. I asked my Twitch chat to do a few of these, and we're going to go over a few of them now. I won't get all of them because I've got like 25 bloody tier lists, right? But let's see what we've got. here we have the next tier list from Spin, right? So we have Blaster tier. So basically, these are like the big pumper specs. Spin is definitely a big pumper enjoyer. So we have Deadeye, Weaver, and Mirage. Then, of course, yeah, more Blaster specs, right? With Catalyst, Renegade, Chronomancer, and Holosmith. And then, yeah, all of like the more support-oriented specs, all of the more hybrid specs, completely thrown in the trash. Yeah, you know what? I like this. This is definitely... this is a DPS player. This is a DPS player tier list. 100%. And you know what? I like that. That's good. That's good. Okay, wait, what is this? Elite tier is Fire Wizard. And then we have Festering Dog Vomit on the Pavement in the middle of July tier. So, Firebrand. Not a Firebrand fan. As we can clearly see, this is a harsh... wow, that's harsh on Firebrand. A very harsh condemnation of Firebrand here from Flying Guru. I mean, you hate to see that. You hate to be a Firebrand main there. Ah! Yeah, now... Sigil is a warrior main, as you can see, and as well. Actually, I need to actually. I can show you where he put Bladesworn, and I think this is true with a lot of EOD specs. Actually, we go all the way down into G tier for G tier for Mech, H tier for Mirage. You can tell that he plays PvP, by the way. PvP player tier list, as you can see here, and PvP player and warrior main tier list. Most balanced percent. Okay, let's see. Wait, what the hell is this? Core warrior S+, Spellbreaker Berserker S, Bladesworn A, and then no idea is just everything else. He only plays warrior. Wait, why is there like a random red splodge there from the snipping tool? I like that. That's a good addition there. Everything else just goes into no idea tier. Oh, we have like a class fantasy tier list. Executes fantasy well. True. What even supposed to be? Very true, actually. Catalyst, not good. Untamed, not good. Wait, Herald. Oh, a lot of people are hating on Herald these days, to be honest. I mean, Bladesworn is good, like anime fantasy. This is true, actually. You teleport behind your opponent. Nothing personnel, kid. This is what Bladesworn players look like in real life. All of them. If you're a Bladesworn main, I know you own a katana. Oh, Lara's... Okay, we got Lara's tier. Let's check this out. Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. This is Lara's fun tier list. S tier, Holo, Bladesworn... Catalyst and Weaver. No. Catalyst is nothing but trash. Let's see what else Lara's got. A tier, Reaper. Okay, yep. Firebrand, yep. Harbinger, yeah. Oh, wait, wait. Whoa, what's going on? The Call?
The Call.
Ooh.
I can't... Catalyst is easily the most fun you can have in this game.
No, it's worthless garbage.
It is. It's just, you have to be good to play it. That's the issue, people. You just gotta get good. That's what's going on here.
Your Catalyst is Core Ellie with F5.
No, the free skill, the hammer. Okay, I will agree.
That's you.
That's
what you are. No, you are Core Ellie with an F5.
I want to be a fire wizard, people, with a hammer.
Play Core Ellie.
That's like...
That's Fire Wizard.
No, but the hammer though, you know, like the little mini game. You press that free skill, then you gotta go to the other one, and you gotta press the free skill, and if you mess it up, you feel bad. But if you pull it off,
don't they do 3 damage now? Because it was just broken, just ruined the game.
No, but it still buffs you up having the fire thing. They do free damage.
Yeah, exactly.
But you still want it. You still want it for the buffs, and it's so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You do 3 damage.
No, you get buffs, and then you do 42k damage. Okay. Catalyst is the only build I've ever done good damage on.
Nice.
No, that's not true. But
yeah.
I'm a big Catalyst fan.
Catalyst actually could 100% be good. I'll grant you that.
It is good.
I'll definitely give you that. But no, Catalyst is actually probably the only spec that I would like to see fully reworked from the ground up.
No!
Seriously.
How dare
yeah, no, I'm serious. I'm actually serious, by the way. Yeah.
I think ArenaNet needs to rework Scourge.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I'm not entirely in disagreement with you there, actually. It probably is one of those specs that's a bit like, what the hell were they thinking?
Hold on,
put your thing
back on the screen. Put your tier list.
Oh, yeah, you want to see? Yeah, okay, I'll show you.
Yes.
I'll show the tier list. Here you go. You can judge. Behold.
Wait, hold on. I mean, you put Fire Wizard on top, okay? So that's basically Catalyst. That's where Catalyst
I mean, Fire
be.
Wizard makes every other build in the game look like complete garbage.
Okay, honestly, I don't disagree with most of this.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that, like, you're almost there. You just have to put Catalyst in S tier. Bladesworn in C tier?
Yeah.
That is not okay.
I'm not into it. You know, it's some good RP. It's some good roleplay. I'll give you that. You know, teleports behind you. Nothing personal. But
it's so fun. You get to do the swoop, and then, like, you just... It feels so satisfying. And then, like, I did the, what's it called? The Queen's Gauntlet on Bladesworn the other day. And it was so fun. Everything was dying in one hit, and it was breaking the game. I think it deserves to be an S tier.
You know, it actually destroyed the programming of the game. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you enjoy that?
Yeah. I love it. It's good. I think we can all agree on this. Untamed sucks.
Untamed does suck.
Yeah, there you go.
To be fair, like...
I did it!
I
made you say something negative.
You know which
Look,
one should
you know
be
it's
lower.
trash. You know it's trash when Lara says that it's not good, okay? That's how you know it's utter garbage.
You know what you're wrong about, though?
What?
Dragonhunter needs to be in D tier.
Really? Not a D... Wait,
Yes.
is it because of... I mean, but Braham's a DH. Are you not a Braham fan?
Is he actually?
He's a DH, isn't he?
I am a fake fan.
He's a longbow. Longbow man.
Okay, you're right. It's fine. Dragonhunter can stay.
Until, of course, his
changed my
bow was
mind.
stolen in a Char prison and Brahamgar happened.
No,
Yes.
You can talk about these things on your stream,
Yeah,
but like you can't. No. All my viewers are running away right now. I'm getting out of here. Good luck with the tier list. But yes, this Catalyst slander I will not stand for.
Yeah.
You know, it's not okay.